Hello everyone, Cricket here for another Breath of the Wild video. This time I'm walking you through the steps on how best to do the Akkala Blue Flame Run. In this video, I'll talk about some of the points I found useful for when going through this process myself, so you can be best prepared to complete this yourself. One really important thing to mention here is that there is an ancient guardian that protects the last few torches, but more on that later. The first step that we're going to talk about here, the first tip I should say, is to clear out all the monsters on your way up to the furnace and back again with that blue flame. Just to make sure that you don't run into any issues, as well as picking up any of the wooden weapons that drop, because those can be used for wooden torches later. Another thing to keep in mind is to try not to climb on anything while you have a flame out, because it could auto put your weapon away. A very important thing to keep in mind is that the weather changes pretty frequently in Akkala, so it could rain. Make sure to keep an eye on your future forecast there by your map, just to make sure that you don't get a rainstorm in the middle of your run and it puts out your torch. Also, you want to make sure to start as early as you can because you do not want to be as close to a blood moon. Another thing to keep in mind is while running or using your glider, it will put your torch away, so you definitely want to make sure to not run or fall anywhere. One thing that I really found useful when doing this is to mark all your torches along the pathway that you've chosen to take. This way that if you do happen to get lost or turned around a little bit, that you'll have a clear and concise path to follow on your way back up to the mountain there. All right, and so those are the tips that I had for you. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and light that torch and follow my mini map here. As you can see, it guides me completely where I need to go. There's no second guessing. You know, you don't have to keep looking at your map, worried about your weapons burning away or anything along those lines. Switch that, or hit that there, and it will light them up. Now, the important thing to keep in mind is, you know, you will need to light as many as you can, because if you do happen to miss, or your weapon burns away or something like that, you don't have to run all the way back to the furnace. And I'm just going to walk right past these guys here because they are not going to hurt me. And as long as you keep moving, they really won't bother you too much. Make sure to switch your positions around, though, if they do have a bow. That way they can't hit you in the back. And another thing here to keep in mind is you want to switch your weapons out every once in a while that are burning. If you leave one weapon specifically out to burn too long, it could burn out in the middle of a pathway, and you'll have to turn around and go back. So if you switch them out every other torch or some along those lines, you'll never have that issue. Alright, and the rock here is easily able to just jump over, so this little shortcut you can take, but make sure that you're being careful about which rocks you jump on, because it took me a couple of times to figure them out, and you lose your torch. Now, as you remember at the beginning of this video, I said that there was a very important thing to talk about, and that's that ancient guardian. Now, this is what happens when you do not take care of that guardian before you make this run. I thought that I would be able to outrun it, out-LOS it, do everything I could, but there was no way I was going to survive this.
A few moments later.
And I got to get revenge. And so there you have it. That's what happens if you don't take care of the Ancient Guardian, but otherwise, if you follow all the steps laid out for you in this video, you really shouldn't have any issues completing this quest. I really appreciate you all watching, and if you do have any other suggestions or comments, leave them below. I love hearing from you. And if you do like the content, please like and subscribe. Until next time, this is Cricket. You all have a good night.